So we've achieved a boil, and as you can see, the steam does make it a little bit hard to see in the brew kettle. And for my stove, that's a pretty good rolling boil, so I'm going to leave that where it's at. I've measured out my hops, starting with the first, second, and third addition. I like to do that so I'm ready to go. When the wort initially comes up to a boil, you're going to achieve what they refer to as a hot break. And for an extract brewer, probably the most important thing to be concerned about is this is the first time that you could potentially encounter a boil over. In a small batch like this, I'm nowhere near the top of the kettle, but essentially you could boil over the kettle, and if you're working in your kitchen, that would be a big mess. The second time that you could receive or experience a boil over is your first addition of hops. I'm just going to put them in. There's no way this thing's going to boil over with that little volume in this large of a kettle. But if you're pretty close to the top, you probably wouldn't want to do that. You probably just want to trickle in a few hops, give it a second, trickle in a few more. And then once the initial hops and additions are in the wort, you can go ahead and add the rest. I'm trying to be very simplistic as far as terms and not overwhelm you, and just that you know that there's a risk that the kettle could actually boil over at that point. The science behind it we don't need to get into in this tutorial. So I'm going to go ahead and set my timer. This is a 45-minute boil, and so I'm going to set my timer so that it is in sync with my next hops addition, which is at 30 minutes. So starting at 45 minutes and counting down, that means I need to set my timer for 15 minutes, which would be the 30-minute marker, and then I'll put in my second hops addition.